So it's finished Liverpool 0, Man City 0 at Anfield this afternoon. A scoreline that you wouldn't have found many people predicting. And to be honest, you could have offered me a point before the game, I would have been really happy. So it's unusual to have a point at Anfield and feel this disappointed, because I really feel like we should have won that game. But we're going to talk about the game, a few of the key incidents, and yeah, it's a bit bittersweet right now. Yes, guys, I hope you all do enjoy the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the match in the comment section down below. Leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video. And don't forget as well, if you are enjoying the content, if you are new to the channel, subscribe, click that button down below. And don't forget to spread the channel around. The support and everything on it's been absolutely incredible lately. So again, thank you so much for that. But yeah, let's get stuck into this and talk about what really feels like 2 points dropped right now. So although the main incident and the main talking point is going to be the penalty that Mahrez missed and the penalties that weren't given, I think the most logical place to start is going to be with the lineups of both teams. I think the biggest surprise from Liverpool's point of view was the fact that Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't start a player that had very good games against us when he played in the fixture last season. And he's had a couple of shaky games recently for Liverpool, but still didn't expect to see him drop. And Gomez putting in that right back slot, who did do decent for them, to be honest. In terms of City, De Bruyne not in the squad, unfortunately. Unfortunately, there were mumblings that he could be on the bench, perhaps coming back from that injury. Clearly, Guardiola seen that he wasn't fit to have a part in the matchday squad. But Mendy came back, was probably the weakest link in the back four, to be honest. Gave the ball a couple of times a bit sloppily, but still, the back four in general were absolutely sensational throughout that game. So you're not going to find me complain about anything in terms of our defence and goalkeeper. The rest of the back five, as it were, was made up of Edison in between the sticks. We had Laporte and Stones, that partnership that I absolutely love pairing together, and it was great to see Guardiola trusting them in this kind of a big fixture. A lot of people saying that Company should come in, perhaps Otamendi for a bit of experience, but Laporte in particular had an absolutely sensational game, coming across a few times when it was very, very important to do so. And then at right back, of course, Kyle Walker, who in my opinion, again, also had a very solid game. So defensively, we were great, and I can't really recall Edison having to make a save of note, which is an incredible thing to be saying after coming away from Anfield. So defensively, absolutely fantastic. Moving into midfield, we then of course had Fernandinho firstly anchoring that midfield as he does so well. Such a solid player, and again had a good game. Not many players, in fact nobody really having a poor game for us. Ahead of him we had David and Bernardo, the two Silvers in the middle of the park, and again they seem to work so well together. Bernardo just drifting past players at ease on a few occasions and looking like he really is the main man to replace David when he comes to retire or leave City, because again, sensational performance from him, one of the contenders for man of the match in my opinion. And then looking forward to the front three, we had Sterling on the left, which is a bit unusual. Usually players on the right. Aguero through the middle, who's never scored at Anfield unbelievably. And Mahrez, who was the shock player to start off with because of Sané's form of late, but started him. And if you put the penalty miss to one side, he actually had a good game. He got a few pot shots away, looked dangerous whenever he got on the ball, and it's just that penalty miss, wasn't it, that's going to cost us the 2 points. Before there was that penalty miss, of course, there was a couple of appeals. The first one, which I think was the biggest shout that wasn't given, was the one where Lovren came in behind Sergio Aguero. Now, the commentators really annoyed me at this time, because on Sky they were saying like, oh, well, just because he's touched him, it doesn't mean it's a penalty. He's coming from behind, he's not got the ball, he's kicked Aguero. Just because Aguero hasn't made a meal of it doesn't mean it's not a penalty. That was a stone-wall penalty in my opinion. At the time, Aguero being on the pitch would have taken it, of course, and I'd like to think he would have slotted it away and it would have been a different ball game, but as we all know, he did get a penalty later on. There was another appeal for a penalty before that, actually, and that came from a handball that was by Van Dijk. I didn't think that was much of a handball, to be honest. Fernandinho was giving him a bit of a nudge, and I think the free kick was given against Fernandinho in the end. So half of one, half a dozen of another as far as that one goes. So that one I don't think was a penalty. And then the one that was given, Van Dijk on Sané using his pace after coming off the bench, was a stonewaller again. Up steps Mahrez, 85th minute. You're thinking, I saw Mahrez stepping up, and I thought to myself, please don't miss it, because so many people have been slating him, so many people saying he's not doing well since he's joined. He's picked up his form of late. It was a big moment. Jesus wanted to take it. He took it off him. He said, oh, this is mine. One thing you can't do when you take the penalty off a teammate is miss, and it wasn't even a good penalty, was it? It was nowhere near. Well, I say it wasn't nowhere near, but it wasn't a good penalty, never on target, and that is what's going to cost us the 2 points. It's finished 0-0, and As I say, coming away, if you'd have said to me at the start of the game, you're going to get a 0-0 draw, you're going to be taking a point away from the game, I would have been ecstatic. But we dominated that game for large portions and fully deserved to pick up the 3 points. In terms of the pattern of how the game went, it was a typical start you'd expect at Anfield. We really had to weather a storm for the first 10 and 15 minutes where Liverpool were pressing high, fast-paced, and it's always the thing, if you can get through that first 10 minutes, you stand a good chance against Liverpool, I think, because that first 10 minutes is so intense, it can be difficult to get through, and that's where we've suffered in previous seasons, especially recently, where they've got an early goal, you're instantly on their back foot, the crowd's up for it, they get the momentum, then they get another couple, and it can be very difficult to come back from, but we rode out the storm. And then we really controlled the game from that point on, in my opinion. There wasn't really that many moments where Liverpool were in the ascendancy, maybe right towards the end after that Mahrez penalty miss. They thought it could have been their day and it picked up a little bit more. But for the most part, we had a lot of possession. We didn't have many amazing chances ourselves, don't get me wrong. There wasn't too many clear-cut chances at all other than the penalty. In fact, I don't think there was any. There was a couple of decent efforts, mainly from Mahrez. Like I say, apart from the penalty miss, he actually had a decent game. He had one where he turned Robertson, I think it was, that could have been Lovren really, really well. Flashed it just wide of the post, but that wasn't really a clear chance, so to speak. It was a decent effort, that was. And he made the chance out to nothing for himself, so that one wasn't too bad. And then he had a couple where he was cutting inside. One in particular down at the near post that Alisson did really well to save. But other than that, like I say, the chances are few and far between, and it's not the kind of game that I think a lot of people would have expected from Liverpool versus City, particularly at Anfield. I think when we look back on this result in sort of 2 or 3 weeks' time, it's probably going to be looked at as a good one. I think when you're getting a point at Anfield, it's not something we've been able to achieve in recent years. As long as we beat them at home, that's 4 points taken off them in theory, and it's a great return on Liverpool. They're clearly a team that's going to be up there at the end of the season. I genuinely don't think they look as strong as they did last season, despite the fact they brought in all these signings. Whether the players are a bit more tired because of all the running that they did last year with the long Champions League campaign, with the Premier League campaign, I don't know. I just think the pressing that they did last year was non-stop for 90 minutes, high tempo, and they didn't seem to be able to replicate that today. Whether, again, that's to do with the fact that they had Champions League on Wednesday, I don't fully know, but they just don't seem to be as menacing this year so far, in my opinion, as they were last season. And I think that a massive part of that is going to be Salah, because even if Salah has a good season, which he could still do, like have a 20-goal season, it'd be great for him, he's still not going to be hitting the heights of last season, where he was obviously absolutely untouchable. And yeah, that could be what's the difference with Liverpool come the end of the season. So though they've strengthened as an overall squad, the defence is better. Going forward, they just don't look quite as menacing, in my opinion, like I say, as they did over the 2017-2018 season. So they're going to be up there, but I still think we are the favourites, and I still think we've got the best squad and the best chance. I actually think Chelsea are going to be more of a contender. You look at the way Hazard's playing, absolutely phenomenal. They've not got Champions League, so although they have got Europa League, which I'm sure they're going to be sending strong teams out for, when it comes down to it, if they want to rest a couple of players in the week, they can do that there. So I think Chelsea, looking at it at the moment, are going to be the team that's going to push us the most. Man of the match for me in that game was Aymeric Laporte. I touched upon him a little bit when we were going through the lineups. I thought he was absolutely sublime today. We bought him in last January, of course. He didn't really start too many games, but he's slowly been eased into the squad, and right now he is looking like a fantastic acquisition. Everything that Guardiola will want from a centre-back. He was some vital challenges he made at some points where he was coming across where Mendy perhaps had bombed forward a bit too much. Well, not too much. We know Mendy likes to get forward, obviously, but Laporte came across and cleared the danger. His ball retention under pressure and all that kind of stuff was absolutely magnificent as well, and aerially won a lot of his draws when Liverpool got the crosses in him and a couple of corners. So Laporte, for me, was man of the match and was absolutely outstanding. And like I said, I think in a couple of weeks when everything's settled down, this will be seen as a really, really good result to go away to what's seen as your main title contenders and get a point away from home, to keep a clean sheet and to put in the kind of performance where we have, where I feel like everyone watching that game will feel that City will have deserved that win. Maybe not Liverpool fans, obviously, but I think everyone will say that Liverpool were fortunate to come away with the point and City not to take the 3. So there's a lot of positives, a hell of a lot of positives to take from that. We started the season well. We're going into the international break, top of the table. I think we're still top. I don't think Chelsea's overtaken us. I think we're still top of the league. So that, again, is another positive. And let's not forget, we've done that without arguably, I would say definitely our best player in the entire squad, Kevin De Bruyne. All that has been achieved without De Bruyne, whereas Liverpool were looking pretty much full strength to my knowledge. So, I think that's a good point. it hurts right now because I think we deserved all three, especially with the Mahrez penalty miss, but I think it's a good point. And hopefully when De Bruyne's back, which should be after the international break by the looks of it, we can kick on and hopefully cement our place at the top of the Premier League. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. It was the biggest game of the season so far, without doubt. A lot of opinions going into it. Has anyone's opinion changed coming out of that fixture? I'd love to know in the comment section down below. Again, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big thumbs up. Make sure to leave your comments down below. And again, thank you guys so much for your support on this channel. Again, really, really appreciate it. I know it's been a slightly different direction to the Nidge players on that we had going before, but your support, comments, likes, everything like that has been phenomenal. So thank you so, so much. I will speak to you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Nidge out.